When we begin this process with the VetMotl 850 microliter device, we want to consider the name of it because that 850 microliters corresponds with the exact volume that we're going to deliver into the inlet port that I mentioned earlier. Now, this could be raw semen in some cases. I've removed that representation from the field because most times people are dealing with previously frozen and thawed straws. But in the event that we had that much raw semen, go ahead, add 850 microliters of it to the device, as you'll see in my explanation, which will follow. But in most cases, people are dealing with previously frozen and thawed straws, and I have one here in the field which is going to be 250 microliters. So of course we need to bring this volume up, but we also want to ensure a dilution factor that is around 1 to 1, and we'll be able to achieve this if we have 250 microliters or even 500 microliters. If that factors in, we'll be able to get close to that. But what we're going to do is, of course, take our plunger. When our straw is thawed, we're going to add the sample to one of our Eppendorf tubes or one of our compatible tubes, just to expel the sample from the straw into a workable environment. And now we have 250 microliters of our sample within a tube. And we're still, of course, short on volume that we need in order to load the device, and keeping in mind the 1-to-1 dilution at least that we'd like to achieve. So we are going to add media to this tube with our semen, our thawed semen in this case. And when we do so, we're going to add a little bit more than we absolutely need. As I mentioned before, we need 850 microliters to load our device, but in this case we're going to add about 100 microliters more. So let's do a little simple arithmetic. We have 250 microliters here. We're going to shoot for 950 microliters. So we need a difference of 700 microliters of media in this case. So I'll pull that up in a fresh syringe, and once I have that ready to go, I'll add it to our tube containing our previously frozen and now thawed semen sample. And then once we do so, we're going to want to either give it a stir, or you could take your syringe and aspirate gently up and down, carefully, so as not to introduce air bubbles or anything like that. Just try to integrate it as well as possible. This added media is going to help dilute out the extenders that we are expecting to be in the previously frozen sample, but also, of course, accommodate the volume of the device that we need. And we have here 950 microliters of our solution. So from here, we're going to take our syringe and pull up the 850 microliters that we need to load the device. Yes, we have about 100 microliters of a cushion, if you will, and that's okay. We don't want to scrape the bottom of the tube if we don't have to. So this will provide a little bit of relief in that instance. Once we have our 850 microliters ready to go in the first of our 3 sterile syringes, we're going to approach the device itself and provide contact to the inlet port here. A little bit of downward pressure along with a bit of a twist is what I like to do. This will give us some tactile feedback as far as achieving that snug fit and that tight seal I was referring to earlier. Once we have that, you'll know the syringe will remain upright. From here, we're going to, of course, plunge down, but when we do so, just taking our time. As you'll see, any of these active steps with our device are going to fly by. They're going to take very little time, and it's really important that we do take our time and be mindful during these steps. If people rush through this, we may have a lack of consistency or just suboptimal results. So we'll take our time here, and hopefully, as you can see under the membrane itself, the sample loading. I like this because it gives us an indication of the progress for this step. And right around here, I do like to slow down just a bit. I want to make sure all 850 microliters of either our raw semen in some cases, or in this case, thawed semen plus media, have successfully been delivered into the lower chamber of the device. And from here, we can discard with our first syringe. We are done with our first step.